Now we are going to talk about Kaizen costing. And please do not be scared. It's not another type of costing like marginal costing or absorption costing. Everything is much simpler. So, Kaizen costing is the idea that the improvement should be done in continuous small steps. So, this means that we are going to set a standard for this period that is going to be lower than the previous one. Well, for example, if a person would take 4 hours to do this item, then in the following period, we would set a target of 3 hours and 50 minutes. Then next period, the target would be reduced to 3:45, and so on. So continuous improvement in small steps, not only relating to quality, not only relating to waste, but to all types of activities that are performed within the organization. So setting standards, improving the standards. We are going to focus on improving processes, systems, and productivity. And also, we are going to focus on decreasing waste, but that is not the only idea of this method. Now, we are going to talk about all areas in the business because it's not only about production department. It's not only about client-facing stuff. It's about each and everyone. So, for example, it may as well be that if you buy a lamp that is of better quality, that gives better light, then a person who does the manual work will spend less time doing that. So this means that production department should raise their concerns to the department that is in charge of buying all of these lamps and stuff, and they should make a purchase. Now, employees quite often are going to work in teams and they will be able to make changes. Let me give you an example from practice. I had a client, and the client was engaged in producing some medical stuff. So these special bags that are needed to collect urine. And they had three types of connectors of some hooks that can be used to attach these bags with urine to a bed. And one of them was very expensive. There was some quartz that was produced just on one plant, and it was important. It would cost fortune. So they try to think about how to reduce this cost. So they would look in different directions. There was a team that was assembled, and let's say procurement department started to think about where they can buy a substitute for this material, which is not that easy because, as you know, all these medical appliances, they have to be licensed. The production department would start to think whether they can produce that in-house. And marketing, this marketing person within this team, they actually provided a research. They asked clients which hooks they use more and which they rank as better or worse. And it turned out that nobody used that fancy cord. And actually people thought that there was just some part of packaging. So that it's not something that needs to be hooked, but rather something that needs to be torn off and thrown away. This little thing that would cost a fortune would just be thrown away. And it turned out that the company can just stop making this stuff. They can just stop buying this cord and touching this cord, wasting the time and money, and everyone still be happy. So that is how a team, a cross-departmental team, was able to solve the problem. Now, this Kaizen costing allows organizations to respond to change to competitive environment because competitive environment changes, meaning that we need to adapt our processes. And standard costs that we are going to set will not be set to control and punish someone, but rather they are going to be used as a focus on cost reduction. And obviously, in Kaizen costing, we would expect adverse variances. That is because we are improving the target, and it takes some time for people to learn how to reach the target. People are going to be viewed not as necessary cost, but they're going to be viewed as a source of changes in business. So they will be motivated to come up with ideas. And we expect that motivation of staff is going to increase because of that, because they will feel important. Now, what are the steps of Kaizen costing? Well, first, we will try to calculate what is the production cost, or what is the production time, or what is the production kilos that we have. Then we are going to agree on the rate of reduction based on past experience. So whether we are going to reduce by 5% or 1% or 0.5%. And obviously that is going to depend on how long this has been working. So if we started this process of cost reduction ages ago, then most likely we cannot reduce much, but still. We're going to monitor variances towards this Kaizen target, so this new updated cost. And then when we reach the target, we will update it. So it will be like going for a rainbow, you never reach it. So Kaizen costing, small incremental steps. However, it doesn't mean that they will necessarily be very cheap or even free, because sometimes you will need to buy expensive machinery, or maybe you will need to retrain your employees to do something, not to buy something externally, but to produce something internally. So this means that please do not fall into this pitfall when they ask you whether Kaizen costing is cheap. Well, quite often it's cheaper than to just start everything anew, but it's not free. Now, I prepared some practice questions for you, and I would suggest that you stop the video and try attempting them in your own pace, and then go back to the video to check. So, I suppose you followed my recommendations. Now, let us think, yes or no. Kaizen costing is primarily focused on reduction cost in short term. That is a tricky question because yes, that is actually the disadvantage of Kaizen costing, because we employees would need to make a case why they're doing whatever they're doing, why they are going into the project, and quite often short term is going to be favored. Also, because to improve something in long term, it might take more experience. It is not going to be something that is continuous incremental. Quite often we need to just change the whole concept, the whole thinking. So something that is called business process engineering would be a better fit for long-term changes. So that would be yes. Kaizen costing will involve a significant one-time change to achieve cost reductions. No, it's not a one-time change. It's not a significant. It's small incremental steps. So that one is wrong. Employee involvement at all levels and departments is crucial in the successful implementation of Kaizen costing. That is right. We need employees, all levels, new hires, and those who have been working with us for ages. Kaizen costing is not very suitable for service industries. Well, as a matter of fact, it is. It may as well be that it will not provide as great benefit as it is important to have it in production, because in production we have inventory that is quite expensive, but still for service industries we can improve. We can improve our processes, and if we're talking about IT companies, they do improve the way they organize their work. So it is suitable for service industries. So it is suitable. That is wrong. Kaizen costing generally requires large capital investment. Although sometimes large capital investments would be required to, let's say, build a factory to produce something in-house rather than buy externally or buy some new equipment, still generally it's going to be small capital investment. So I would cross that out. And Kaizen costing never requires large capital investment. Also, pay attention to this word, never, always. It's quite often an indicator that the answer is not right. And that is it. That is something that you needed to know about Kaizen costing. and I will see you next to talk about quality costs.